Hello and welcome. It feels like generative AI just popped up out of nowhere, right? One minute, everything's normal, and the next, it seems like everyone is talking about how tools like ChatGPT are going to completely reshape our jobs. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and figure out what's really happening. Okay, let's just dive right in with this quote because it really gets to the heart of what so many of us are feeling. There's this low-level anxiety, isn't there? But here's the thing. The story of Gen AI in the workplace isn't about replacement. It's really a story about transformation. The key is to understand how our work is about to change. So, to get a handle on how our jobs are evolving, we first have to understand what this new tool even is. Because generative AI, it's a completely different beast from the AI we've gotten used to over the years. To really get this, think about it this way. For a long time, AI has been all about pattern recognition. It looks at a ton of data and predicts things, right? Like what movie you'll probably like next, or the best move in a game of chess. But generative AI, that's all about pattern creation. It learns from all that data and then uses those patterns to make something brand new. We're talking text, images, even code. It's not just making a decision, it's simulating creativity. And this is the absolute perfect way to think about it. This is the central idea for today. This tool isn't here to fly the plane for you. It's your Copilot. It's an assistant that can handle certain tasks, maybe suggest a better route, and free you up to focus on the big picture. Actually getting to your destination safely. So what does having this Copilot actually mean for what we do every single day? Well, it's causing this really fundamental shift in our roles, turning us from makers into directors. Think about it. In the past, a lot of us were makers. We did everything from scratch. We drafted every single word of that email. We coded every line of that simple function. But now we're moving into the role of the director. The AI handles the first draft, the initial grunt work, and our job becomes guiding it, refining what it spits out, and applying our unique human judgment and strategic thinking. It's like we're stepping away from the keyboard and stepping up to the conductor's podium. And this is just so crucial to remember. It's not about just handing over the keys and walking away. It's all about collaboration. The most powerful results, the most amazing outcomes come from what some people are calling a Centaur workflow. Half human, half machine, working together to do way more than either one could do alone. Okay, so if you're becoming a director, how do you actually work with this new AI Copilot? How do you put this into practice, like tomorrow morning at your desk? Well, it all comes down to what you could call the Art of AI Delegation. Step one is to just look at your day and identify the busy work. The repetitive, boring stuff that just eats up your time. For instance, summarizing a long meeting transcript. Instead of you spending half an hour on that, you delegate that first draft to your AI Copilot. Then, and this is the important part, you step in to do what only a human can do. You review it, you refine it, you add that crucial context and expertise. And the time you get back, you reinvest that into the creative work, the strategic thinking that actually moves the needle. Now, it only makes sense that this new way of working creates a demand for a totally different kind of skill. If we're delegating more of the making, what becomes our most valuable contribution? Just think about that for a second. If a machine can write the first draft of an article or a marketing plan or even a chunk of code, where does our real value come from? The answer is, it's subtle, but it's a huge shift. You see, everyone's buzzing about prompt engineering, getting really good at writing instructions for an AI. But the truly valuable skill is becoming what you might call problem engineering. It's the ability to ask the right questions and clearly define the goal before you ever write a single prompt. It's about knowing the real challenge isn't asking the AI to write an ad, but first figuring out who is our audience, what's their biggest pain point, and what feeling should this ad create. That's the real magic. Now, that's not to say prompt engineering isn't a huge deal. It is. It's a totally legitimate and fascinating new career path. These are the specialists who get incredibly good at talking to AIs, tweaking and refining their instructions to get exactly the right result. And what's so interesting is the skill set you need for this. It's not really about being a coder. It's about being a fantastic communicator, a sharp critical thinker, and having just meticulous attention to detail. These are deeply human skills, now being used in a brand new way. So this all brings us to the final and I think the most important part of this whole conversation, taking a moment to think about your own role in this new world of work. And look, this isn't some far-off theoretical thing anymore. As these tools get woven into our daily workflows, These questions become absolutely essential for figuring out where we're going in our careers. Let's start right here. Forget about your specific job title or your daily tasks for a second. At its core, what is the unique value that you bring to the table through your work? Now, you gotta be really honest with yourself on this one. When you look at that value, which parts rely on stuff like empathy or complex strategy or ethical judgment, and which parts are more about a process, something a machine could probably learn to do? Okay, I know this sounds like a scary question, but it's actually not. In fact, it's an incredibly freeing question because it leads us to the final and most empowering idea of all. Because if your AI copilot could free you from all the monotonous, boring parts of your job, what would you choose to do with all that reclaimed time and brain power? This technology isn't just changing our work, it's giving us a once-in-a-generation opportunity to redefine it, to focus on what truly matters, and to decide for ourselves how we, as humans, really want to make our mark.